catchy water. Without these chemicals, you will love the feel of your hair and skin and the fresh taste of your water. LifeSource reduces hard water problems and provides great tasting filtered water from every faucet in your home. And LifeSource systems are 100% maintenance free. No filters to replace, no salt, and no need to buy plastic water bottles. So LifeSource is great for people, pets, and the planet. And to celebrate July 4th, LifeSource will pay your sales tax. Yes, they will pay your sales tax. For a limited time, you can save big on clean water in your entire home. This offer ends soon, so call LifeSource Water at 888-712-4279 or visit lifesourcewater.com. That's 888-712-4279. Taste and feel the difference every day.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
KCBS News Time 11:44. Coming up on KCBS, the Fed raises a key interest rate by 0.75 of a point in a move to tame inflation. Let's check the sports line. Here's KCBS's Joe Hughes.
Win or lose, tomorrow's Game 6 of the NBA Finals will be the final time that the Warriors play a game in Boston this season. And that's good news for somebody like Draymond Green, who's become public enemy #1 in Boston this series. The Warriors head coach Steve Kerr telling our Odyssey sister station, 95.7 The Game, that he thinks all of that has just been a bit overblown.
I think everything has been kind of overhyped because that's what happens in the finals. You know, there's just so much coverage.
I don't know if I'd agree with Kerr about that. I heard Red Sox fans chanting F Draymond in the middle of yesterday's win over the Oakland A's. As far as Draymond Green's struggles in these NBA Finals, Steve Kerr thinks that he's been a lot better than most people believe and that his impact goes far beyond what you see in the stat sheet.
Defensive force the last two games has just been devastating. It's always the key to our team on the defensive side of things. So Draymond's been great. You know, there's always going to be a lot of chatter, good and bad, and you just sort of roll with it, and he's done a good job of that. He's responded well to all that stuff, and he's playing a big role for it.
Well, a big game from Draymond Green would certainly go a long way to helping the Warriors close out that series tomorrow night. But Golden State 0-3 in potential closeout games on the road this postseason, where they've been outscored by 18 points in those contests. And while Boston is just 6-5 at home in these playoffs, they are 4-point favorites tomorrow night. From the sports desk, Joe Hughes, KCBS.
If you're thinking about home improvement, why not choose products that last longer, look better, and provide real energy efficiency, all while increasing the comfortability of your home? For over 50 years, Armstrong Painting, Roofing, and Windows. Free estimates and financing available when you call toll-free 855-777-1234 or online at armstrong1234.com. Armstrong Painting, Roofing, and Windows. License 245291.
You can unlock more cash than you realize from your home's equity with a cash-out refinance today. In the last year, average home values have gone up nearly 20%. And with Rocket Mortgage, you could unlock thousands in less than 3 weeks. But you've got to act right now before rates go up. So when you're looking to unlock the cash in your home, Rocket can. Call 8338-ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started.
Rate current at 12/12/21. Call for cost information and conditions. All applicants are licensed office state and licensed for access federal over 330. Call 800-490-1233 for disclosures and cost information.
Yeah. Coach Ice-T, who's ready to spin? We're starting with the big hill. Let's ride.
Why is Ice-T leading our spin class? Well, it's probably the Honey Nut Cheerios. He found out they can help lower cholesterol. Now he's having fun taking care of his heart in all sorts of new ways.
That's right, Buzz. Now spinners, really pour your heart into it and pick it up.
Learn more by picking up a box of Cheerios and check out our Pour Your Heart Into It audio workouts with Ice-T and Buzz to get your heart pumping.
For a smarter start to your day, start with us.
I'm Jennifer Hodges in downtown San Jose.
Stream KCBS for news, traffic, weather, business, and more. Live in East Oakland, Matt Ziegler, KCBS. Never miss a headline. Never miss a story. Never miss the news. Tell your smart speaker to play KCBS Radio.
11:48, traffic and weather together. Better news coming out of American Canyon. Here's Victor.
That it is, Eric. Northbound 29 at South Napa Junction Road. That injury crash that had both lanes closed for quite a while has now been cleared. All lanes are open and traffic is recovering. Still a bit slow through there, but better news is lanes are now open. Traffic report is brought to you by Floorcraft Carpet 1 San Francisco on 80 westbound. Coming out of Albany right around Golden Gate Fields all the way to the toll plaza, the Bay Bridge. The metering lights are still on, so that's the reason why you are very heavy through there. Once you're on the bridge, it is a very smooth ride into San Francisco. And San Jose still looking at heavy traffic on northbound 87 after Curtin Avenue to 280. It's an earlier crash right at the connector ramp. Looks like everything's been moved over to the right-hand shoulder, but still very sluggish there. And once you get on 280 in the southbound, southbound direction, 280, you're going to see brake lights right again all the way to right around McLaughlin Avenue. It looks like a pothole repair going on in that direction. Once you get past that, by the time you reach Highway 101, you are clearing at the speed limit. So you adopted a pet and they scratched up your floors. That's where Floorcraft Carpet 1 in San Francisco comes in. During the Claws and Paws flooring sale, you'll save big, and you'll find big savings on appliances, baths, kitchens, and Hunter Douglas window coverings. Learn more at floorcrafthome.com. Your next traffic update at 11:58 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Sunny and warm, the forecast for today after the morning overcast burned off, and it's burned off. So highs 60s to the ocean, 70s and low 80s by the bay, 80s and low 90s inland. Tomorrow will be a carbon copy, except for the 90-degree high temperature readings. We won't reach that high. Traffic and weather together on the 8s on KCBS. You heard the Fed raised interest rates. Here's a CBS News special report.
CBS News special report. With prices on most everything going up at about a 4-decade high rate, the nation's central bank announces a nearly 3-decade high increase in major interest rates.
Inflation is much too high. Against this backdrop, today the Federal Open Market Committee raised its policy interest rate by 0.75 percentage point.
Chairman Jerome Powell says the Federal Reserve
and anticipates that ongoing increases in that rate will be appropriate.
The Fed's bottom line:
we at the Fed understand the hardship that high inflation is causing. We're strongly committed to bringing inflation back down, and we're moving expeditiously to do so.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
The central bank must convince consumers, investors, and businesses that it has a plan to attack inflation.
Financial market reaction so far pretty positive. Strong gains showing on Wall Street. Dow Industrials now up more than 400 points. CBS News special report. I'm Tom Foti.
KCBS News Time, 11:51. This just crossing the Associated Press wires. John Hinckley Jr., the man who shot President Reagan in 1981, has been released from all federal court oversight effective today. They made this announcement back in September that he had met all the court restrictions and he would be released from federal court oversight, but it actually happened today. He was scheduled to play, he's a musician now, he was scheduled to play a sold-out New York City concert, but that is up in the air following his release. That was 1981 when that incident occurred. Back to our News Watch here at 11:51. The Warriors are one win away from another NBA title. If they hope to end the series in 6 games, they got to do that on the road. Here's KCBS's David Welch.
3 basketball fans walk into a bar. No, this isn't the start of a joke. 3 Warriors fans decked out in team colors literally walked onto the patio of this bar. And I couldn't resist asking them about their team's chances in Game 6.
I originally thought 6, but I have to say, I'm afraid it's going to go 7.
It turns out Chris is a longtime season ticket holder.
I just think that Boston's going to come back and for pride and, and the fans, I think, are going to support him. But I'm rooting for 6. But I'm realistically, I'm thinking 7.
His friend Craig was more optimistic.
Well, I'm thinking 6 because if they can win without Curry starts playing well, somebody else can fall off, they'll kick their butt.
Craig does acknowledge that the Boston Garden is a difficult venue to win in.
Well, it's legendary and it's a tough spot, but I think that Curry and his team are so seasoned and so awesome, such great teammates and team players, that it doesn't matter where they're playing.
As for the third friend, well, he turned out to be more of a golf fan. In San Francisco, David Welch, KCBS.
Nobody's perfect. It's been a banner year for endangered coho salmon in Marin County, where fish surveyors say they're seeing one of the largest runs in 10 years. KCBS's Jeffrey Schaub on why.
So many salmon returned from the ocean to here at Lagunitas Creek that people could view them not only in the creek but streams that run behind their homes. 700 adult salmon, compared to a fraction of that number during previous winters. Eric Ettlinger is an aquatic ecologist with the Marin Municipal Water District. He says huge amounts of rainfall last December filled the creek with water.
It's great to see. We've had a number of low years, and even when we see a lot of young salmon go out to the ocean, maybe the conditions out there were not really conducive, but this year everything came together to produce a lot of adults coming back.
Ettlinger says current ocean conditions are excellent. There's lots of bait fish and krill to help salmon flourish. But any success in making it inland to spawn next winter depends on how much rainfall we receive. In West Marin, Jeffrey Schaub, KCBS.
Internet Explorer will explore no more. Microsoft has officially sent the browser that once dominated the World Wide Web out to pasture. IE launched in 1995, knocking Netscape Navigator aside. Its market share peaked in the early 2000s at more than 90%. But these days, Google Chrome is on top with about 65% of the worldwide browser market share. KCBS News Time, 11:54. Well, seems like I remember the Fed doing something really important today. Let's check in with Tracy Doggy at Bloomberg.
Eric, I've been involved in the Fed meeting coverage for more than 25 years, and today is the first time I get to say that the Fed has raised its benchmark interest rate by 0.75%. The last time it did that, almost 30 years ago, is targeting the hottest inflation in more than 40 years. Wall Street was expecting the Fed to go big this time, and stocks are rising even more now after the Fed rate decision. After Fed Chair Jay Powell said that they don't intend to make a habit of this. Dow rising 308 points, the NASDAQ up 263, S&P up 55 points. In a few years, many of the Legos that made walking across kids' rooms so treacherous will be USA made. The Lego Group is spending $1 billion to build a factory in Virginia that will be the 7th Lego factory in the world and the only one in the U.S. Tracy Johnson, Bloomberg Business for KCBS.
Termites in your business? Visit PacificCoastTermite.com or call 800-PACIFIC.
ERC employee retention credit. This is where the federal government gives employers up to $26,000 per qualified employee. So if you had 10, that would be up to over $250,000. If you had 20, up to just over $500,000, so on. And there's two different ways to qualify. And what is a crying shame, a lot of people think you have to have both. And a lot of people were told, even by their CPAs, that if your gross revenue wasn't down by a certain amount, you didn't qualify. Not true. There's a different independent way to qualify. It's either or. Bottom line is, you can just contact us. We'll tell you if you qualify. And if you do, let's get you free money from the federal government. It's a grant. That means you don't pay it back. It's not a loan. It's yours to do with as you please. 888 Tax Deal. That's 888-TAXDEAL. 888 Tax Deal. Or Moskowitz.LLP.com. MOSKWITZLLP.com.
Hey guys, if you had a problem with your plumbing, would you wait 6 years to have it fixed? If your car's engine started a misfire, would you drive it that way for 6 years, or would you have an expert fix the problem? The average man waits 6 years to see a doctor about ED, impotence, or low testosterone. At Prime Male Medical, they've helped thousands of men in the Bay Area, and they can help you too. But don't take my word for it. Here's Dr. Robert Rowley from Prime Male Medical.
We have virtually every medication known to man. Shelfcast. We specialize in treatments for ED and low T, and we have a 99% success rate. We offer a variety of treatments, including high-dose sublingual lozenges, ultrasound-based shockwave therapy, and injectable therapy. Most impotence problems can be treated in just one visit.
Get your first visit, PSA and testosterone test, Doppler ultrasound, and a full year of follow-up visits for just $99. Learn more at PrimeMaleMedical.com or call 415-761-4037. That's 415-761-4037.
Liam Mason here. Sorry about you. Be a Buck for the day and see the world through their eyes at Bucks. An immersive new exhibit with larger-than-life models at the California Academy of Sciences. Meet the enormous bulky mantis and a swarm of Japanese honeybees. Be hypnotized by flashing dragonfly models as they zoom through a giant flight chamber. Delight in the bizarre beauty of bugs and learn how they evolve their unique adaptations and behaviors in this all-new exhibit. Learn more and reserve your ticket at calacademy.org.
KCBS News Times 11:58. Let's get an update on traffic now from Victor.
In San Benito County on Highway 156, you got very heavy traffic in both directions between San Juan Bautista and Hollister. This is Caltrans doing some paving work right at Union Road, so they have one-way traffic control till 2 o'clock. That's the reason why it's very heavy through there. I see a lot of people using an alternate route, Highway 25 out of Hollister to Gilroy. Even that's pretty solid in the northbound direction, right around Bolsa Road. That's where you're going to find the brake lights all the way to Highway 101. The good thing is once you get to 101, then it's clear and have the speed limit in both directions. Your next traffic update at 12:08 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
KCBS forecast. Sunny and warm again today. Highs ranging from the 60s at the ocean to the low 90s inland. Here tonight, lows in the lower 50s. Traffic and weather together on the 8s at All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS, where it's Wednesday, June 15th, 2022. Coming up on KCBS.
I'm Chris Ancarlo. We'll be waiting a bit longer for some of the marquee cases of this Supreme Court term. I'll have more on how long to wait.
I'm Michael Wald. Amid panic selling and worries of a recession on the horizon, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges announces a major layoff.
And the Fed raises U.S. interest rates 3/4 of a point to tackle inflation.
When you need to know, KCBS AM, KFRC FM, and HD1, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, and all these stations.
It's high
Is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Monica Ricks in New York. It's the biggest interest rate hike in 28 years.
Today, the Federal Open Market Committee raised its policy interest rate by 3/4 of a percentage point and anticipates that ongoing increases in that rate will be appropriate.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell says it'll help bring down rising inflation costs that are hurting many Americans.
Inflation is a problem. Groceries are more expensive. Fuel prices go up.
But the hike is expected to help. CBS's Jill Schlesinger.
The Fed is trying to reduce the rate of inflation fairly quickly at this point without pushing rates so high that it tips the country into a recession.
Another rate hike is expected in a few months. Dr. Anthony Fauci has tested positive for COVID. He is experiencing mild symptoms now, but this comes as the FDA recommends Moderna's COVID vaccine for kids under 5.
We need more children to get the vaccine, not because they're going to be seriously ill and hospitalized, which is remarkably rare, but to protect long COVID and the spread of the virus.
That is Dr. David Agus. Kids as young as 5 could get that shot as early as next week. President Biden is calling on oil companies now to increase supplies. CBS's Stephen Portnoy.
Mr. Biden says the decision to reduce the output of refineries during the pandemic, when the price of oil briefly dropped below zero, has since resulted in unprecedented profit margins, as progressives in Congress call for a windfall profits tax. ExxonMobil says it intends to increase oil production and expand refining capacity.
Gas prices are topping $5 nationwide. CBS's Cami McCormick reports U.S. Defense Secretary warned Austin is meeting with NATO allies now in Brussels on how to help Ukraine.
Ukraine is facing a pivotal moment on the battlefield. We can't afford to let up, and we can't lose steam. The stakes are too high.
Austin says they can't afford to underestimate the challenges Ukraine faces, especially with the battle for the Donbass region.
We don't have any time to waste, so we're here to dig in our spurs.
The U.S. and its allies are providing more modern equipment to bolster Ukraine's defenses in the east and along its coast.
The U.S. has pledged another $1 billion in military aid. More triple-digit temps are melting millions of Americans today.
Pretty hot today, it's kind of desert-like, to be honest.
Most of those 14 temps are hitting central states. More than a dozen babies have now died on a Fisher-Price rocker. Here's CBS's Meg Oliver.
Fisher-Price urged consumers to never use the rockers for sleep, never leave children unsupervised or unrestrained, and never add bedding material to the product.
This is CBS News.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Whether you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance yours, Rocket Mortgage can help you get there. For home loan solutions that fit your life, Rocket can.
It's 12:03 at the Bay Area's news station KCBS. Sunny and warm conditions again today. In fact, maybe a little warmer than yesterday. Good afternoon, I'm Eric Thomas. Here's what's happening. The Supreme Court has finished announcing opinions for the day, but KCBS's Chris Ancarlo reports the decisions on marquee cases have yet to come down.
The High Court announced 6 opinions today. In one of those cases, the court ruled against the California law